Rise Up Children of God, and I have a very special guest today on my show, and this is our sister in Christ, Charla Vandermeer from Colorado, United States. And thank you, sister, for coming today to my show. And the reason we got together with Sister Charla is that she is a victim of Morgellons disease. And I have done interviews with German scientist Harold Kautzweiler, and we have touched on Morgellons and spoke about Morgellons, and I have more tape to release to you. And since I have done these interviews and he has put some light on what really is going on with Morgellons right now, I had several people writing me privately emails and asking for help. You guys are asking me to connect you with Harold for help, if there's any kind of help naturally, because he had some ideas of how to help these people with natural medicines, herbs, and supplements, and so on. And then I have found our sister in Christ, Charla, here on a show that was willing to come out openly and talk to you about what Morgellons is, how it feels, what helped her with that illness. And I am so thankful that she's willing, because it must be really, really hard to talk about this, and she's still willing to. So welcome, Sister Charla. And so you have been diagnosed with Morgellons illness. When was that? When did you get this diagnosis?
About 2014, between 2013 and 2014, and it came about because I got bit by a Lyme's tick, and the doctor, he was from Jamaica. I happened to be in Minnesota just for a little while, for about 8 months, and he said, I've been studying Morgellons, and this is very interesting coming to me because I'd been to many doctors and nobody could tell me what the sores and the illness, the fatigue, the migraines was about. And he said, this year in Minnesota, that was 2013, Dr. Spence told me, hope he doesn't mind me using his name, that anyone getting bit this year with the deer tick was getting Lyme's, but they were getting this mysterious disease. And the only thing that they were calling it was Morgellons. Now, animals were getting it too.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Wow. And you know, when I spoke with Harold, he was saying to me and showing me some pictures even, and he said that there's these unexplained fibers in the air. And especially he found it in Germany and here in East Europe. The fibers in air that kind of get in a human body. And then, can you tell us about symptoms? He was saying that you guys feel like there's something crawling inside of you or on your body. And then also he was speaking about worms inside colon or intestines. But after examinations, the doctors found that these were not really worms, even though they were kind of like worm-looking fibers. Is that really true? I mean, can you tell us what the symptoms of this illness is?
Yeah, I was having abdominal pain along with this, and I was so sure I had parasites, but I kept testing negative. Eventually, they did come up with a positive, and it was what was called histolaica, entamoeba histolaica. And if you look at Morgellons, histolaica entamoeba is a type of amoeba along with a protozoa that will invade you if you get real bad, okay, and attack your guts and your intestines. And so actually there truly is a parasite that can become something worse. I think the little white ones that look like little half moons, or they're white and gooey looking things, and they'll actually come out your skin too.
Really?
They will come out your skin sometimes. If you get really hot and you're in the sun, when I was living in Texas, they would sometimes come out this, I would look down and see, you feel a burning sensation. You look down and you would see one laying on your skin.
Wow.
And then the biting was very, very hard to take because I would go to the doctor and they would tell me it was in my head. And you could feel them moving under the skin, biting you, down your legs, down your neck and back, especially on the soles of the feet.
And how did you catch this illness, sister? Did you get it through a mosquito bite?
They think that I actually got it through. Remember, I told you that the protozoa and amoeba. Well, when I was in Texas, I was gardening, and I had a cut on my leg, and I had my leg in the dirt, and there's lots of parasites in the dirt. And also, many people don't believe this, but Houston, Texas was being sprayed with chemicals. They were just being sprayed incessantly at the time I lived there. So, of course, the ground is getting all of this fibers, and it's coming in through your air conditioning. And I believe fibers got in that wound and entered my body.
Right, this is what Harold was saying. I kind of asked him, is this from chemtrails? Because you know how they spray the chemtrails, and mostly it's barium, aluminum, and all these heavy metals in chemtrails. But he couldn't really say if it's 100% chemtrails. He said, I don't know really what they're putting out there, but there are fibers in the air, and they're very visible when you kind of light up a night sky, and you can see a lot of fibers there. And he said to me that there is 100% infection rate, and this was very scary to me because, as you told me when we spoke together, you thought there is 50% infection rate, but Harold told me no, it's 100% infection rate right now. And really it depends whether we have strong immune system or not that can withstand it. So,
well, you see, I had pre-existing lupus, and so my immune system, I was dealing with the lupus holistically and doing very well. I had gotten off of all the medicines they put me on at Mayo Clinic. But when I got the Morgellons, that took me down harder than lupus did. I began to be fatigued all the time. I had migraines. The fibromyalgia which I actually think is more Morgellons than lupus, to be honest with you. And then I used to get these, what I call like flesh-eating sores. Now, it's not like a sore. Let me show you. May I show you a picture?
Yes, please, if you're willing to.
These are very tiny sores.
We cannot see anything on the camera. Maybe you can put it a little bit higher.
Okay, I took this picture 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I still have these sores, but these are very, very tiny. This is on my leg.
Okay.
The reason they're tiny is because I take oil of oregano.
Okay.
Oil of oregano will kill the fiber. Okay, but you have to constantly take it.
So let me ask you this, sister. Doctors couldn't help you. What did doctors tell you?
When I went to the doctor, I actually brought in fiber samples.
Really?
But what I didn't realize that when a patient brings samples in, they're considered psychotic.
Wow, I had no idea. I went through nursing school here as a young woman in East Europe, but I never heard that you cannot bring a sample with you.
So when I showed them my sores, now it's getting a little more airtime now. The sore, like on, there's another channel, Morgellons, Silent Victim, I think it is. She shows the sores, and they're very deep. Now, I had a few like that, But I immediately started looking into holistic remedies, and I started buying them. And the ones that worked, they really do work. I have not had sores for probably 4 years now. No, probably 2 years. Excuse me. 2 years.
So sister, so doctors at that time, they couldn't identify this illness. Can they identify it now? I mean, there is a name for it, Morgellons. So they obviously can identify it today, but back then they couldn't identify what's going on with you.
When they take a sample, what they do, they'll swab one of your sores, and they'll send it off to the lab, and it comes back, and they'll tell you that you have Lyme's disease, okay, and that's usually what they tell you. Or they'll tell you that you don't have anything wrong with you, and that you are seeing things.
But you were you feeling the symptoms that something is crawling on you, and then you have to constantly scratch yourself?
Oh yes, absolutely. In my case, it was beyond. It started like I wanted to scratch, but then it became so painful that I was looking for creams or anything, bath salt, something to soak in that would make it go away, and nothing was working. Nothing.
So what finally helped you?
Well, I heard this fella named Harold Vela in 2014, and he gave a wonderful documentary, and he was talking about this Morgellons, and it was like he was talking to a group of scientists, I guess, and he had a board up behind him, and as he began to describe a person, and I didn't realize I was consuming fibers. I didn't know they were there. And that your body takes them in, and then he says most people would just keep them, and they just stay there, and they're like, they're being used as little antenna to read the person's DNA,
right,
and how their emotions and all that.
This is the scary part, what Harold talks about. I mean, this seems like that's why he's saying that this is basically a black magic that they're using, the Luciferians, the Illuminati that are running this planet right now. This is what they're doing. They're putting these fibers in our environment to read our DNA, so they can get in our bodies, so they can read our DNA and get inside of our bodies. This is the very, very scary part of it all, sister. But anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Well, Harold was interesting because he began to talk about, the people that 95%, I think he said, of the people, although I think it's much less than that now, more people are beginning to reject it because, and Harold said, as soon as we reach a certain level, everyone's going to reject it, and everyone will become symptomatic.
Wow.
And so I think that will eventually happen, but he said for the people that do reject it, he started describing me. The sores, the emitting of fibers, the thinning of your hair, the general feeling of malaise,
right,
low-grade fever, and fatigue. I mean, he was just talking about me.
Wow.
Yes. And
so you finally had your answer, at least, because
I did. I then said, I have a label for what I have. I now know.
Right.
And so I thought that I would go back to my doctor, and he would be just, oh, great, now we can deal with this. No, he told me that Morgellons was not a real disease.
Really? Wow.
It wasn't.
So doctors don't have answers. So what did you do? How do you treat yourself?
I began reading people's blogs who had Morgellons and what worked for them. There was this one lady in Texas that had it quite bad where I was at, and she goes by the name How's It Hanging, and I've seen her on many webs or YouTube, but she started a blog, and she was very helpful, and she started talking about the cloves, the oil of oregano, there's something called Defense Plus that's got echinacea, ashwagandha, golden seal. It's got all these
Herbs.
extract of grapefruit seed. It's got mushroom extracts. Now, these are things I would never have conceived of taking, but they had me on at one time 22 medications.
Wow, the doctors.
And I was like a walking zombie. They were trying to cover up every symptom with something.
Right.
For the muscle, they had the soma. For the migraine, and I still get migraines, but not like that. Not like that. Where my migraine medicine didn't work. I would have to go to the hospital and get a morphine shot.
Right.
So, and then it would come back yet. They gave me something for bone pain with this too. You have arthritis, bone pain. They found out that my liver wasn't working properly. It didn't have enough vitamin D. They found out my kidneys were not working properly. I soon realized that what I was eating probably wasn't helping my body.
So you changed your diet, and
I totally did. I eat not very much meat. When I do eat dairy products, it's raw with cultures, non-pasteurized raw milk. I get Bulgarian raw yogurt, and I'm learning to make my own.
That's awesome. Awesome. But let me tell you this: despite this serious illness, Morgellons, the serious that it gets, you look beautiful. You look happy. You look wonderful. So that's why I brought you on, sister. Please help these people who they are writing me letters. That there is especially a lady that her daughter, who is 22 years old, have Morgellons, and she's describing it as they're dying. So I wasn't familiar with that illness until I spoke with Harold. And of course, Harold is not a Christian. I wanted his scientific point of view and what he sees from science, because he goes to he was in a lab analyzing these fibers. So I wanted to know for myself from him directly what he saw and what it really is, because when he told me there is 100% infection rate, that's a danger. That's a danger to me, to my kids, to my husband, to all of us all. We are all exposed to this nonsense going on today, this evil that it's going on today. So, but you look very happy and you look very pretty. So what are you doing? Tell us all of this natural stuff that helped you.
Well, I asked my doctor to run a series of tests. After reading a lot of blogs, I found out that people had systemic candida. They had fungal infections.
Right.
They had actual fungal infection on their skin. Okay, so I asked my doctor to do infection or tests. He found out I had systemic candida. He was shocked. He would never have guessed that. He found out that I actually did have protozoa and amoeba, and he said there are some other parasites we cannot identify.
Wow.
And I wondered, what could these parasites he can't identify be? And they said maybe they were trophozoites, but they didn't really look like that. Well, I think that they were probably Morgellons.
That's what I think too. Yes, that's what Harold actually told me on the interview, that these are parasites that nobody can identify because they're so, they look like shrimp, he said. I don't.
Yeah, they look like shrimp. Yeah, and then the ones that will make you ill, like then if you throw up, they're kind of long and more clear.
Wow.
It's kind of icky to describe, but that's what they have to be, because even though they're clear, they're moving. They're moving.
Wow.
Now, I weighed 79 pounds at this point. I had sores all over me, and I know that I was dying.
Yes, yes. And you come out of it pretty good. I know you still have it, but you are doing well. Can you show us all these medicines you're taking? They're all natural, or?
Sure. Should I turn my computer that way?
Okay. Turn it that way.
And
show
then
us.
I can stand up and tell you what I do.
Yes, please do.
I should stand up over here? Okay. You see that pretty good there?
Yes, we are seeing a lot of natural medicines and herbs and vitamins.
Yes, this is
Yes.
what I use. Okay. Um, First of all, to clean my skin, and I make it myself, I use borax, 1 cup,
Mm-hmm.
soda. Obviously, I buy it in bulk.
Baking
1 cup
soda, yeah. Mm-hmm.
baking soda, and always make sure you get the non-GMO or non-GMO. And then I like to use, this is the fine ground Epsom salt, and I get rosemary and mint because it helps the muscle.
Okay.
Okay, I use a Grolsch beer bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and I put my little funnel. First I take my mixture and make it, and then I put it in this, from this, here. And then when I bathe, I pour this onto my washcloth, and then I pour apple vinegar on top of that, and it lathers and makes very soft, wonderful soap.
Wow.
Borax is the only, and Harold was talking about borax. Borax is the only thing known to take off fungus from your skin, because you can't really see it. It's clear, but it feels oily.
Right.
So I do that. Then to kill the fiber, afterwards, I will rub very lightly glycerin, vegetable glycerin oil, pure, GMO, non-GMO, and povidone iodine ointment. And you just need a little drop and a drop of this, and you rub it on your feet and work your way up.
Wow.
On your face, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you do get a sore, also, I use frankincense oil for deodorant.
Awesome.
And I also put it under my nose because frankincense opens the lungs and it rids the mucus in the lung.
And
I learned that by myself. Nobody told me that. I just used the aromatic, and frankincense is my favorite.
Frankincense, when I studied oils, essential oils, frankincense actually repairs your DNA. And if you remember Jesus, one of the gifts that was brought to Christ at his birth was frankincense. So
yeah, it's a healing oil.
Yes,
it is a healing oil.
And with myrrh together, frankincense and myrrh mixed together actually repair the DNA in a human body. So
well, I do have myrrh as well, and so I'll have to mix them.
Yeah.
Then the other thing is I take the raw probiotic and I take the special one for women. This is Garden of Life, but you can find what brand works good for you. I take 85 billion a day, and this has 21 strains. That's a lot, but you have to do that. Along with this probiotic, I drink raw yogurt, raw kefir, which is whole cultured milk, and you mix about this much in a glass, and then you put almond milk with it. Shake it, and this will turn the almond milk into yogurt.
Super.
So you have to have a lot of probiotics to kill that fungus. That fungus is in there. And then I use this one here, I told you, grapefruit seed extract and cloves, oil of oregano, magnesium. Very, very important. And usually I have zinc, but I don't have it today.
Okay.
Now, this is turmeric, and turmeric is curcumin.
Yes.
Curcumin kills all these bad organisms, really kills them. I take a high dose of this.
Awesome.
Biotin, good for your hair and your skin. It'll heal your skin sores.
Awesome.
But you have to take 5,000. The vitamin D3, because we don't get enough sun, because they chemtrail us all the time.
That's right.
So you have to get your vitamin D3. I take a CoQ10 for my heart. I noticed that when I was sick, my heart would have arrhythmia. I have no arrhythmia anymore. I rarely get sores. Like once in a while, like the little one I showed you, you know. Wow. And then if I get stressed, maybe I'll get a little pat. But they're right on the surface. and they go away.
Right.
And with this will kill the fiber in this, because there's always a fiber in the sore. I mentioned there's always a fiber in the sore. So this kills the fiber.
This is a glycerine you said with the iodine, right? Iodine cream.
Yes, iodine ointment and glycerin, 100% oil. And these two together will kill in 6 seconds the fiber in the sore. So then your sores go away.
That's awesome.
And the healing is so fast. When I started on this, I had one sore that was 3 inches long. And they had me on antibiotics for 52 days, and it never went away.
The antibiotics probably worsened your candida, your systemic candida.
Yes. Then they had me on diflucan, and for literally weeks. Yeah. And now I don't take any of that. So then I take the E, and I take the Super Bio C. And a lot of these are different brand names because I've just found out what works well for me. Folic acid is very important. This is for your metabolism, your nerves. The nerves, the pain. What's really happening with your nerves when you feel the biting, it's neurological. Yes. So you have to make your nerves healthy. B vitamin and bioflavonoid, and then garlic and parsley. And then on top of that, take 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and eat it every day. Just literally eat it. And if you want to put it on your skin, it's great too.
And you can cook with it. It's awesome. It's so tasty. I cook with it all the time.
I cook with this, or I cook with my organic virgin olive oil, extra virgin, unrefined.
Yes.
I don't let anybody refine it.
Cold pressed. Yeah.
And I take enzymes and amino acids here, or I don't know if I'll pronounce this right, ornithine, L-carnitine, L-arginine, and then the big one, the amino 1000 that has everything.
Okay. Yeah, there are some amino acids our bodies don't make, but even, I think that these are building blocks of protein. So for a repairment of tissues, you need those, yes.
We do. And the Morgellons is constantly destroying that.
Right.
So you have to build it up. And
exactly.
I took a multivitamin before I knew that I had Morgellons. It was probably doing nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, if vitamin is made in a lab, if it's a synthetic vitamin, your body cannot synthesize it. It cannot use it. So you just kind of release it out. So that's why you need to have really wholesome diet, organic, preferably plants and fruits a lot, vegetables, and then of course all of these supplements you're talking about, and they're all awesome. I know them all, sister, and as you are showing me, I'm just smiling here. I'm saying praise the Lord, because she has found all these beautiful cures, and you are a living example that they work.
Well, I'll show you something else too. Tea is very, very important, and this tea is let me get my glasses on. I have old-fashioned glasses here.
What is that? Robois or?
This tea has gotu kola, organic rooibos leaf, and root, hibiscus flower, peppermint leaf, ashwagandha root, again, stevia, and ginseng and blueberry. So it says get charged, and it does. It gives you energy. And you can also get organic coffee if you like coffee, right? Which has niacin in the organic coffee. They don't take the niacin out of the beans, but I don't like the way coffee makes me feel. Okay. So I stick with the tea.
That's probably better. Yes.
Then I have a big Berkey, and I reuse my bottles, and it takes fluoride, all the metals, all the radiation, everything. In fact, it takes, I didn't realize this until, my Berkey's right over there. I didn't realize this until I'd used it a few times. But I washed the filters. You can wash the ceramic filters. There were little tiny black blobs of fiber.
Wow.
And we must have it in the air too.
Well,
I mean,
this
in
is what
air.
Harold said. It enters, of course. I mean, it's in air and it falls on our food supply, on our water. So it's so easy. And when he said 100% infection rate, so it's really, it's either a matter of time or it's a matter of making your body strong through a proper diet, through supplements, and making your immune system strong so the illness doesn't, has symptoms.
Right.
Hmm.
The other thing, a lot of people have talked about that they have a lot of colon issues.
Hmm.
And I've heard mostly that people can get very plugged up. Well,
Okay.
there is a natural, they call it laxative, but if you read the ingredients, what it is a bunch of greens that they've packed. The pill is green.
Hmm.
The pill. Okay, so what you're really taking, if you take it at nighttime, and I do take it every night, it's power packed like taking greens. You're taking a compacted greens at the end of the day. Also, I take a natural psyllium fiber,
Hmm.
and I don't not the Metamucil, real psyllium, and it just helps everything to go through very, very well without any distress on your body.
Right.
And
Amazing.
now 105 pounds, so
So you have
I'm not.
gained weight.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So
You can come back to camera unless you have
uh,
something more to show us.
no, I was just going to show a few simple organic foods that people can buy that are inexpensive, like organic rice, organic beans. You don't have to eat fancy, but you have to eat healthy.
The
It's
simpler the better.
absolutely
Simple but very healthy and a lot of fruits and vegetables. But
yes.
also, sister, maybe we should mention for people sugar, refined white sugar, that it's
Oh no,
that it's
yeah,
very
that's no, no.
dangerous, and you probably got that completely out of your diet.
I don't eat sugar at all. I don't, even when it's holiday time and I'm actually not one to celebrate Christmas too much,
Hmm.
but I will gather with friends and have a meal. We'll have a meal, but I do not eat sugar.
Right.
Absolutely, I will eat stevia. Stevia is fine,
Right.
but sugar will just create more fungus
Hmm.
and candida.
Yes, it worsens everything. I mean, Harold used to, when we met together, and he was telling me about sugar, he said it's actual poison, and that people in, I don't know in what years it was, that to use sugar they needed a prescription from a
Yeah,
doctor. That it
yeah,
was it was not allowed because it's a poison. As soon as you put it on your tongue, the entire cells in your body know and recognize the poison have entered the body. But today, when you go to grocery store, everything, including bread, everything has refined white sugar in it. So it's almost like we have to avoid it and have whole foods and make our own stuff at home. But it's all worth it. We just have to do it because we are surrounded with this evil that wants to poison us. Literally,
yeah,
everything is poison that we eat. Yeah.
yeah. And
So.
even when we buy GMO, it's difficult because they are spraying the skies. I try to buy from when I lived in Texas. There were a lot of people that had greenhouses, so
Hmm.
that was really good because they were above ground gardens. I'm hoping to build my own above ground garden and cover it,
Yes.
and that way I think that's probably the best protection.
Yes, it is, and
Um,
that's what we are thinking of with Steve. We want to have our own garden, and he was talking of building this. What is it called? Greenhouse, all covered, so we can have our vegetables all year round. So I'm learning some skills, sister, and hey, I am on the I am with you in that club of natural supplements. What I would probably add to all of these that you were talking about, maybe chlorella and spirulina. What do you think?
Well, actually, I'm out of chlorella and spirulina
Hmm.
right now, and I meant to tell you that because those are the super greens.
Yes.
I mean, those are the really elemental super greens that are amazing. I
Hmm.
mean, when they take cancer patients and they give them just the chlorella and spirulina, instantly the cancer stops replicating.
Yes.
So it's, I mean, I believe we can probably conquer, if we use God's way,
Yes.
just about everything.
Yes, and as
Really.
we see, He has made, He's so wonderful. He has put here on this planet everything we need to heal our body with, and then, of course, our spirit. And tell me, this prayer helps you with Morgellons as well, meditation and prayer. And I mean meditation about our Lord with His Word. Can you tell us about that? Because I'm sure all these natural stuff that you do, but then how about the prayer?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. If I get to feeling, now with Morgellons, there is this natural process that happens. If your body is sick, your mind will be sick. And if your mind is sick, you're going to be depressed.
Right.
If you're going to be depressed, it's going to work on your immune system and bring it down. So for me, I will put worship music on.
Excellent.
And when no one is around, I will dance.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. But why don't you
okay.
dance when somebody's around? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm too embarrassed. But the dancing not only gets my body moving and the circulation going, but you start to praise God.
That's it.
And then you suddenly are praying out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The worship leads to praying out loud.
Yes.
And that's sort of my own personal remedy that I do in my living room alone.
That's awesome.
But,
awesome.
And it really does work. And when you're done, you feel like it's left.
Yes.
The bad feeling is left.
Right.
It's like it's gone.
Yes, He is our healer, isn't He? So,
Yes.
thank you. I have to say that you look great, and I can see beautiful results. So there is hope out there with Morgellons. And for those who wrote me letters that you guys want help, I found this sister Charla who was so kind to come and share her experiences and the way that she has treated this illness. And I thank you so much, sister, for being kind and coming on here on a show. And we wish you the best. You can write me emails. And if just in case they want to connect with you, sister, is that okay if I give them your email address? Or do you know of any support groups or anything that you can recommend so they know they're not alone in this world?
Well, that'd be fine. There are a couple support groups that I know of, but I have found that, well, with the one, they kind of are going into a more new age way of treating it, and I'm not so I don't want to do that,
Well, this is why it's important that I brought you on as a Christian, so they have someone to go to, and someone who is Christian and is going through this and can help them. So you don't know of any Christian groups or anything?
I don't, but I will say this. I learned something from Stephen, and that was about rocks and magnets and things. And now I'm looking into that because I am really sure, because we have these antennas in us, that they must control us with frequency and electromagneticity. Because I can tell you I get sick sometimes, and I know that is what is happening.
Yeah, I'm going through it myself. I get migraine headaches when there is too much electromagnetic fields around me. But I have found out in the rock that Steve was talking about, and I will show the listeners, I'll make a video on this. It's called shungite. It's from Russia, and it's available in the United States. Basically, you can just go ahead and Google this. It's called shungite rock. And this particular rock can completely clean your water. If you have this rock on, pour water over it in a bottle, it will completely absorb fluoride, chloride, all heavy metals, bacteria and virus, cysts, everything, and activate biologically the water so it's completely pure. And it's very cheap. It's very cheap. We have this. We use this. This is basically our system of cleaning our water. And that rug also, if you wear it on you, I don't have it on me now, it protects you from electromagnetic fields. So
that's my next interest.
yeah, so what I will do is why don't I just make a video about it? Maybe if I feel tomorrow I can do that, maybe I'll see, because we have a flu going on in our house with my kids right now. It's just a circle we cannot get out of. But anyway, I'll try to make that video. But yes, it's called Shungite rock, and that's what Stephen was talking about.
I'm sorry, I don't know of any groups that I can recommend.
It's okay. I mean, your email at least, because you are extremely helpful, sister, for those who are suffering and they need a Christian friend and some kind of hope that it's out there. And this is what you helped us with, and I really thank you, and I thank you for watching this show. And I will be bringing Sister Charla on more often, or at least several more times, because we have a lot in common. She used to be a Jehovah's Witness. As you know, I used to be one as well, and I have no idea that we had this background in common, and we would like to help some people to come out of that cult as well. So Sister Shala will come with us again, and until then, you have a guys great night. Bye bye.